Hi, my name is Alainta Elson. I am from Belle Glade, Florida. It's a small rural town outside of West Palm Beach, a very small rural town. We don't have a Walmart. It's agriculture, sugarcane, and predominantly known for athletic sports. Absolutely. And Ben, who going there? They're Haitian. My mom is from Gonaïve. My dad is born, from what I'm aware, is Undeo, which is in Haiti as well, the outskirts of a small, rural, small city. Yeah. See the look I just made? Growing up with Haitian parents, it's a different experience. Growing up with Haitian parents and being first generation Haitian American, right? My mom had my siblings, the youngest three of us here in America, so we're first generation. And it was this constant conflict identity-wise of who you are, because my mom English wasn't as great when I was growing up, and she made sure that we had the Haitian pride, the Haitian culture when you're home. But it was another thing and experience when you're at school and when you're outside of your home. It's like, who am I? Because if you speak Creole amongst people that are not Haitian or not, aware of the culture, people are very mean spirits or something they don't understand or don't know. I still remember bringing food, from home, some sauce pois, some mamoulin, like there's all sorts of stuff my mom used to pack for us in those little quartz container. Y'all know what I'm talking about, the little quartz container, and kids just look at me, ooh, what's that? You eating cat? You know how it was back then in the 90s. But one thing I really appreciate with my mom, even though she didn't show love as a traditional parent would, she provided us the form of, now look at it now, the form of resilience that you should have as being a Caribbean child. You should have that resilience. And growing up as well, leaving my small town, going off to college, I appreciate it even more because I speak the language. I know the culture. I can cook the food. And I have a greater appreciation for that now because some people didn't have that experience. So before I graduated from Florida AM University, which is FAMU, go Rattlers. So I graduated from FAMU in Tallahassee, but my primary school, once I left Glade Central High School, was Florida Gulf Coast University. That was in Fort Myers. Total culture shock. Total culture shock because I entered FGCU. Well, going back, just restart is FGCU at that time was relatively new. The school was maybe less than 13 years old at the time. So it was still up and coming school, trying to gain the popularity of Fort Myers. And it was just such a social class difference. You can tell. Going to school, people are driving, all fancy cars, Mercedes, BMWs, and it was predominantly white, predominantly Caucasians. I'm from a small town where, Caribbeans, Hispanics, Jamaicans. I had encountered few white people, but not as predominantly exposed to so many at a time. So I didn't know how to exist at my school, FGCU at the time. But I was happy. I met a group of other Haitian Americans in Fort Myers, and we just, create this great bond, and it was absolutely great. And with their experiences and my experiences, we share that connection of being Haitian Americans, and we share how that influenced us in college to get things done. Yeah, we're party, we're doing all other sorts of extracurricular activities, but all my friends had at least 2 jobs, including work study, those sort of jobs. So we were really on it, had to get things done. So that was an interesting experience, but I knew what I really wanted from my college experience, and I knew that unfortunately I wouldn't receive that from FGCU, so I decided to transfer after my first year to FAMU. FAMU was great. Let me just say that. A historical black college, if you don't know, one of the historic black colleges here in Florida. FAMU was an absolute great experience. I think from there, being Haitian, and I soon start identifying myself as Black American as well. Growing up with my mom and the culture identity clash, it was always a division. I'm not sure if other Haitians can relate, but my mom used to always tell us, you know, ba palave American sa, ba fait ici, ba fait là-bas, yo ba kijan nous même. Like, it was always this division, like, we're better than Black Americans. And we had to have this pridefulness to let others know we're not Black American. I am Haitian American, or I'm Haitian, right? And I took that pride with me all throughout my college experience, but it was at FAMU, I soon started to realize that there really isn't a division. Our problems being Black is the same problems as Black Americans and people of color. And that kind of transformed my experience and my identity to know that I am a Black woman, I am Haitian, and I'm American. I wear those hats all together, and it's not one bigger than the other. It's me finding where I exist in each one and how can I maneuver in my life being the better person that I want to be. Okay. I graduated 2013. Don't do the math. So after graduation, I stayed at my call center job. I'm not going to shout them out. I stayed at my call center job. I was there throughout my college years. It paid well, you know, $12, $13 an hour if you're bilingual. It was a healthcare job. You get incoming calls, and you enroll different members in South Florida into managed care plans, and you inform them about those plans. So I stayed there for a few years. So throughout college, I did travel. Not as extensively as I would like. I was back and forth from New York. I did attended a few conferences in Chicago, so that was fun. But I knew it, something about the call center. I'm not sure. Maybe it's the cubicles. They kind of feel like you're getting square in life, like you're just trapped. I'm not sure, but I always imagined myself outside of America and wanted to experience more culture. I've been to Haiti when I was younger, so that was a great experience. But I always wanted to see things in other hemispheres, like what's going on in Asia, in Europe, and all these other locations. Yes, I did get to live in South Korea. So long story short, prior to me graduating, almost a year before I graduate FAMU, I was looking to study abroad for Brazil. So I was taking all the requirements. I was learning a little bit of Portuguese, a little bit of Portuguese. It's a hard language, a little bit of Portuguese. And yeah, so I was just on the track of just going to Brazil. I had all my papers approved, but speaking to the dean at the time, he did inform me he will approve my study abroad. It's just that it will actually delay my graduation. I was gonna do that. I was ready to go. When you're ready to kind of finalize your collegiate year, you kind of know like it's not happening. So I'm not sure if my dean informed me or someone else, or probably I just seen it somewhere. But at that time when I realized I wasn't gonna do study abroad anymore, I found out about teaching in other countries after you graduate, once you attain your degree. So I was on board. Like my mind just literally just went to teach abroad. How can I do it? Where can I get information? Who can I talk to? Let me look online. So I remember constantly when I graduated FAMU, I used to go to after work. It's kind of funny when you're after you graduate. It's like, what do you do? Like that's what I used to think all the time. Like you have all this extra time, right? So I just immersed myself into information. I didn't have internet at my place, so I used to walk to the Whole Foods store or to McDonald's just to get the internet and to look on my phone or my computer to see what can I do or how do I obtain the opportunity to live and travel abroad. So that's when I found these Facebook groups. I started looking online like, oh my gosh, there are people of color that live and travel abroad. So I took that information and just reached out to people via Facebook or Instagram wasn't that big at the time, but just other social media platforms. And that's where I just took the information and just ran with it. Well, just to backtrack, I graduated in 2013, in May of 2013. I was ready. My mind was set, like I am going either I'm moving out of Tallahassee for a job to go somewhere else, or I'm going to Korea. One or the other. I'm going somewhere. Unfortunately, it didn't happen to move to DC or the place I wanted to move after college. So I decided to put my time into going to South Korea. So I graduated in May. I decided, I found out the requirements, you have to get your TESOL. TESOL is a teaching English second language certificate to say that you are certified to teach a second language, well, English as a second language. So I was doing all the requirements at the time, but when it was getting closer to end of the year, 2013, I was constantly putting in applications to different recruiters. It was difficult. It was difficult because I soon learned how my identity being Black, not being Black, Haitian American or anything, just being a Black woman will impact and affect the opportunities to teach. And that's honestly the case. I had recruiters tell me our client will not approve your interview. We didn't know you were Black. I still have the emails. So looking online and reaching out to, I call it my social network, because they was giving me the encouragement, continued encouragement to do so, is that once you teach abroad, especially at Asian countries, they don't have, of course, not civil rights. They don't have discrimination rights, right? Equal opportunity. That's sort of clause that we have here in the States because, I mean, they're a homogeneous society, right? Is really based on the location you'll like to go and the stereotypes of how they see Americans, because unfortunately how they see Americans in a lot of Asian countries is only white and blue eyes. So my opportunities were becoming limited. I received so many no's, I couldn't count. I counted 40 at a time between May and end of the year of 2013. I counted 40 emails of no. But by the end of the year, December of 2013, I'm not sure who gave me the recruiting information, but I found out about a program called EPIC, which is English program in Korea. So this program actually is funded by the federal government in South Korea. So what they tried to do is get English-born teachers to come to South Korea, especially predominantly small rural areas. So if you're like in Canada, if you're in the US, or even in South Africa, in Scotland as well, if you're English-born resident, then you have opportunity to teach. And the recruiter was great. He was from Canada, and the process just went like this. I was so excited once I got that email, said congratulations, and gave me the steps of what to do to get my visa. And when then, push forward into getting on the plane, when you receive so many no's and rejections, you don't know anything else but rejection, right? Because subconsciously that's what you're receiving, that's what you're seeing. But for me, I took it as fuel. I kept telling myself every day to say that I just need one yes. I don't care about everyone else. If my presence and my existence make you feel uncomfortable, then that's your problem. It's not my issue. I just need one yes. So by the time I got on the plane, it honestly didn't hit me. It did not hit me that, girl, this Haitian girl from a small town of Belgrade and graduate of FAMU is traveling and going to South Korea. I was not out. It just did not click at the time because I was so ready to go. I feel like I belong here more than anyone else. That's how my attitude was, because I prepared myself emotionally and physically, financially too. It does get expensive with these visas. And I prepared myself so much. So when it happened, I'm like, I'm here. What's good? Like, I'm here. And it was just the excitement of it all. And I got off the plane. It was cold. It's hot right now, but it was cold. I was not prepared. So let's just say this, and I want to tell people this. If you're traveling, make sure you are prepared for the seasonal changes. I got there with like a little small coat, a Florida coat at that. A small coat. I was freezing. It was March. I was freezing, but I was excited to be there. I was located in a small rural area. It's Gyeongsang-do province. So just for geographical, well, the location, proximity of the location, if you understand Seoul, which is the capital, it's almost 4.5 hours from the city, from the major cities. So it was south of Korea. And at the time, I thought, oh, it was such a disadvantage, but I was just so happy to be there. But the food was so good. The food was authentic. It was seasoned. It was fresh. And they thought that I wouldn't like it because I'm American. I guess their past experiences with other teachers, American-based teachers, I was eating it up. I was eating up so much because one of my experiences, being Haitian is we eat. We eat the part guyo, the bonne peze. We eat, the bouillon, all that other stuff. They have it in the country, in my area. So I almost felt like I was home. And the best thing I love about it was it's 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. If I wanted a fresh home cooked meal, I could go get it in the street. And I did meet a few Haitians in different cities. So that was pretty cool. So being in South Korea was in the most invaluable experience of my life. I can't really articulate in a way that I can make other people feel, but it was a great experience. Aside from leaving, going off to college, this is one of the best decisions I ever did for myself personally and professionally in development of who I am. So it was an incredible experience. And the things that I have learned is a disadvantage is an advantage itself, right? Because being that I was so far from major cities and things I want to do, I was just ready to blah, blah, blah. I was just ready to do all these things. It's just like, oh, it's so far. And then someone would just say, oh, I can't do it. Or I was on it. I took that disadvantage and I created a motivation for myself to say that I am here. This is what I am going to do. And this is how I'm going to do it. So a lot of times I see is that people will take the disadvantage, being Black or not having opportunities or not wanting to be in these positions. And I just look at it as though that is a disadvantage for someone else, but you can just refuel it and refocus it as an advantage for myself. So it kind of just motivated me to do better at every aspect of my life. But coming back to the States was also a reverse culture shock a bit, because you do all these incredible things. You went to this country, you did this cool stuff. You went to North Korea. You went to North Korea, girl. You did all these cool stuff, and you come back it's like everything's the same. It's like you're entering a time warp. Did I just leave or did I come back? Like, what happened? So your mind is trying to find a resolution of what you're experiencing, because it's not the same thing as where you were in your life. And it was hard for me coming back too, because I didn't really have anyone to speak about my experiences, because you don't want to speak to people too much about it, and it's almost like you're bragging or you're gloating, right? And they haven't experienced the same thing. So I made sure to reach out and stay in communication with the people I have met over the years, and that's been my comfort, because it's almost like your isolation, after that experience. So it's 2019. What's next for me? I am currently in graduate school, getting my master's in health administration. I'm really excited about that. So my trajectory of graduating will be spring of next year. And I'm just open up to opportunities, what's going to happen. I'm still in Toastmasters. So if you are in West Palm Beach area, come check out Sunset Toastmasters on Okeechobee. Quick shout out. Sure, you can reach me on, well, first of all, you can reach me on LinkedIn. LinkedIn, my name is Alainta. It's Alainta, Elson, Alcin. If you are on social media through Facebook, I'm posted on my Facebook as ATL. Now, you may not be able to message me, I'm almost exclusive, so we have to have some form of mutual friend. But you can message me, and we'll see if I could just add you as a friend. Yeah. Right. Life-changing experiences. Don't wait on someone else to give you approval. Don't wait on your friends who are holding you back. If something that you want to do, do it. Thanks.